Good evening, everybody. It's time to start our December 2nd Commissioners meeting, and we're glad to have every one of you here tonight. Glad to have Representative Brendan Jones with us. It's a rare occasion he gets to join us at our meeting. We're glad to have him. At this time, move on down to item number 2, reorganization of the board, election of chairman and vice chairman. This time we'll turn the floor over to our attorney, Amanda Prince, and she'll be chairman during the time.
Is there a motion?
Madam Attorney, I make a motion that we retain our current chairman, Bullard, and vice chairman, Byrd.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those against?
Aye.
Okay. Madam Clerk, we need to do a roll call. Commissioner Featherston?
Nay.
Commissioner Floyd?
Nay.
Commissioner Smith?
Nay.
Commissioner Bullard?
Aye.
Commissioner Byrd?
Aye.
Commissioner
No.
Coleman? Commissioner Watts?
No.
Okay. Is there another motion?
I make a motion we elect Laverne Coleman as chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All against? Okay.
It's too late to make an amended motion. Can I amend the motion?
It's already been voted on.
Okay. All right.
And Commissioner Featherston?
Yay.
Commissioner Floyd?
Yay.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Bullard?
Yes.
Commissioner Byrd?
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Watts?
Yes.
Is there another motion?
I make a motion we appoint Chris Smith as vice chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
So, Commissioner Featherston?
Nay.
Commissioner Floyd?
Yes.
Commissioner Smith?
Yes.
Commissioner Bullard?
Yes.
Commissioner Byrd?
Yes.
Commissioner Coleman?
Yes.
Commissioner Watts?
Yes.
Passes.
Congratulations.
Yes, you being you sitting on that side is good. I said the seating is good, you're on that side.
It don't bother
Well,
me.
I mean, you sitting side.
It don't
No
bother me.
problem.
First thing, Madam Clerk, are there any way you can get me another copy of your agenda? My computer has went offline and I can't get it up. I apologize.
Yes, sir.
First order of business, I'd like to, first of all, one main thing, just thank Mr. Bullard for the 4 years he gave us as being chairman. He brought us through hard times. I appreciate it. I thank you a lot for all you've done for the county, Rick. Great job. Thank you. Okay, next order of business, approval of bonds. I have a motion to approve bonds.
I move they all be approved as presented.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. All opposed, likewise? The ayes have it. Number 4, invocation. Mr. Mark Featherston would lead us in invocation and pledge by Commissioner Chris Smith. Let's all stand.
Dear God, we thank you for another day's journey. We thank you for this meeting here tonight, asking that you would be with us, go with us as we conduct the business of this county. Father, we ask blessings on each and every one that's here. We ask blessings on our county, on our state, and on our national level. Be with us, God, as we go through this Christmas season. Help us to remember those that are less fortunate than we are. Help us to be a blessing to someone. Thank you, Lord, for all that you do and all that you can do in the future. In your name I pray and I thank you. Amen.
Amen.
Let's face the flag. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, number 6, approval of agenda. Have a move. Second. Moved by Chris.
Second, Brent.
Brent made, approved, Scott second. All in favor?
Yeah.
All opposed? Okay, it passed. Madam Attorney, do we have any public input?
No, sir. I haven't received any cards.
Rated Spotlight Employee, County Manager, Mr. Eddie Madden will recognize Mr. Gilbert Collins as the Employee Spotlight.
Thank you, Mr.
Robert
Chairman.
Gilbert. Mr. Robert Gilbert.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This evening, I have the pleasure of recognizing Mr. Robert Gilbert as tonight's Employee Spotlight person. Mr. Gilbert recently moved to a position with the 911 Communications Center, but was previously nominated by Sheriff Rogers before coming over to 911. From the nomination form, Sheriff Rogers included some comments about Mr. Gilbert, and I'll read those for the board's hearing. Sheriff Rogers said that Mr. Gilbert has consistently displayed excellence in performance, meeting all the criteria for the nominated individual. Throughout his 7-year tenure at the Sheriff's Office, he served in various divisions, including the Patrol Division, School Resource Office Division, Evidence Division, and Court Division. One example of his excellent performance was in his assignment to Animal Protective Services, where after an audit, he found significant deficiencies, and just after a month of working with the department, was able to rectify many of those issues. In addition to his role in Animal Protective Services, Mr. Gilbert also took on the responsibility of overseeing the budget process and implemented efficient organizational systems for uniforms, tactical equipment, and other items in the logistics division. It's worth noting that Mr. Gilbert had served the department for over 7 years. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, he has moved over to the 911 Communications Center under the leadership of Mr. David Ransom. But I think we all would agree, Sheriff Rogers certainly did, that Mr. Gilbert demonstrates positive attitude, loyalty, cooperation, initiative, leadership, and is always timely in every assignment he's given. Please help me recognize Mr. Robert Gilbert as tonight's Employee Spotlight person.
Congratulations.
That's better than a handshake.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay, the next one, notice and resolution regarding the cancellation of December 16th, 2024 board meeting unless needed. Do I have a motion?
Move be approved.
Motion by Chris Smith,
Second.
second by Ms. Scott Floyd. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Next one, approval and adoption of the signatory resolution by the Columbus County Board of Commissioners County Manager Eddie Madden is requesting approval of signatorial resolution for the chairman and vice chairman, Columbus County Board of Commissioners. Have a motion?
So moved.
Brent Watt made the motion. Second.
Second.
Floyd, Scott Floyd made the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Next one. Approval of the award of bid for the 2022 Essential Single Family Rehabilitation Loan Pool Grant Program. Assistant County Manager Gail Edwards requesting approval of the awards of bids for housing repairs for the 2022 Essential Single Family Rehabilitation Loan Pool Grant Program. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
second by Mr. Byrd, second by Mr. Chris Smith. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. 13, Health Services. Presentation of the
Mr. Chairman,
20.
No, you
Number
skipped number
12.
12.
Number 12. Okay, I apologize. I'm marking it out and missed it. Start with approval of updated rules of procedure. Clerk to the board, Jana Neely is requesting approval for the updated rules of procedure, which reflects the business and to include the county website as a form of notification, which is compliant with North Carolina General Stat 143-31812. Have a motion to accept.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Byrd,
Second.
second by Mr. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Number 13, Health Services. Presentation of the 2023 Community Health Awareness and Health Department Strategic Plan 2025 through 2028. Ms. Smith?
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, good evening. I'm going to, this is information to let you know what's going on at the health department. This was a year that we were supposed to complete our community health assessment and our strategic plan for the health department. And so,
Excuse me.
so we're first going to talk about our 2023 community health assessment. As you can see, there's lots of stuff on this slide, but our 2023 health assessment was due the first Friday in March of 24. We complete the community health assessment every 4 years, and we do this with the help of our citizens. We have, I believe it's 36 questionnaire that when we go to health fairs, we put it online. We just try to get people to complete our health assessment. And the purpose of the health assessment is to identify the factors influencing the community's health and the quality of life. And hopefully we have some resources that we can try and improve what the community says is wrong in our system. We also not only look at the answers to the health assessment, we also look at secondary data, which has to do more with social determinants of health and key health factors. So our key findings were, of course, Columbus County is have a high rate of poverty. Our life expectancy is 6 years shorter than the state average. access to specialty care, so our cardiologist, our endocrinologist, most of us have to go out of town for those visits. 1 in 3 Columbus County citizens or Columbus County adults is obese. Our overdose rates, death rates are high. 23% of adults in Columbus County smoke, compared to 15% for the state. And in North Carolina, not only in North Carolina is lung cancer the leading cause of a cancer death, it's also higher in Columbus County than the national average. So with our committee of community members, we have chosen as our priorities, not necessarily in this order, but our top 3 priorities are obesity, substance use, and lung cancer. So our next step was to get this out to the community. So there are hard copies in every library branch, and I want to thank Morris Pridgeon for helping me get that out to the different branches. Right outside the door on the table, next to the entrance to a county administration, is a hard copy. Sort of looks like that. There is a copy in the environmental health lobby downstairs, in the health department lobby, on the web page, on our web page, and it's also on the state web page. Any questions about the community health assessment?
I have a question on that priority 1 obesity. I'm categorized as obese myself. But is it that, I mean, you have to be in really good shape not to be in that category, correct?
If you go by the body mass index, the BMI.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know it makes the county look bad saying we're an obese county, but
We're not by ourselves.
okay, that's why I was asking.
We are not by ourselves.
Only
No, sir.
0.08% of the county responded to it.
Our next is our strategic plan. This is the strategic plan for 2025 to 2029. This year, we were very fortunate to have regional ARPA funds that we were able to employ individuals from UNCW to help us, to help our management team at the health department to update our vision, our mission, and to help us come up with our strategic plan. This is something that I've wanted to do ever since I became health director, but there was never any money in the budget to do so. So we were fortunate to have those ARPA funds. So our new mission at the health department is to prevent illness, promote wellness, protect the environment, and educate the community by supporting innovative programs and equitable access to resources while promoting collaborative, inclusive, community-focused efforts. Believe me, that's a lot shorter than the one we've had for the past 19 years. Our vision is to cultivate a healthier, more thriving, and resilient community that supports optimal health outcomes. So our values: collaboration, client or community focused, commitment, equity, respect, stewardship, and sustainability. So our focus areas, which these will look familiar, some of them will look familiar: staff recruitment and retention, obesity, increased public awareness of our services, facilities or infrastructure, substance use, and lung cancer. So some of the strategies that we're going to work on with our staff recruitment is to come up with a workforce development policy, which we have. We need to just update it, write a new plan by January of 25. And we're going to really try to do more developing staff from inside than we have done in the past. I think that would help. Our next one is obesity. We're going to try and work with the faith community, which we have a very good relationship with a lot of our faith community. So we're going to hone in on that. We're going to increase public awareness of our public health services. We're going to really try and develop a more social media policy planning team, work with some of the community members to see what will work best there. Again, using our faith-based communities. So for our facilities and infrastructure, we're going to try and look at ways of obtaining revenue for a new building. We're going to try to work with our state legislative partners on this, and of course, our county commissioners. Opioid, we're going to identify our stakeholders, which at this point, our opioid task force for the county. We're going to look at extra ways, extra grants that we could bring in to Columbus County, not only through the opioid task force, but through the health department as well. We would really like to have some Narcan vending machines. I would really like to have one out at the sheriff's department. But we've got to find a way of purchasing the Narcan to go in it. Lung cancer, we are going to implement Catch My Breath. That is a program that both the city schools and the county schools have requested. I had someone trained on that, and she moved to Wilmington. So hopefully I'll have someone to replace her, and that's one of the first things that individual will do will be to attend that program. We're also working with our partners, the county commissioners, in the vape zoning, and also with the municipalities in the county. So with that, at each of your places, I've had, I put the community health assessment where you can find the state. This is the state website. So feel free to look at that, but we also have it on the health department's website. And this is the plaque outside the door where you go into the health department on the Thompson Street side. And just to remind you that our building is 85 years old. It was built in 1939. And since I had the floor, I wanted to make sure I reminded y'all of that. Any questions?
You mentioned the vape, and I know at the last meeting, asked that it be lowered to 15% of the volume. And I've even had some folks to mention the fact that if they're selling vape, period, they're a vape shop. How do you feel about if we tonight lowered that percentage lower than the 15%? And also, I feel like they should have to get there should be a special tax or licensing through the county permit to sell whatever gear. Is that possible? She mentioned it in the health wise for the county.
Bring that up, Ms. Bird, with our representatives at the Council of Governments. When you go much lower than where we're at right now, you could run into some process issues. I think was what they recommended that we need to be careful of. As far as taxing, that would be a taxing authority.
Licensing, not taxing, and may I use the wrong word, but licensing, should they have to get a particular license to be able to operate at a fee?
I would have to investigate that. I have not looked.
I think that's a good way for revenue, that any store's going to sell vape, it's going to be a vape store, or to have to get a particular license to allow it. If they're going to sell beer, you got to get some kind of license. So, and we got children being expelled now from county schools because of vape. So they feel like it's wrong there. So I think tonight when we address that issue, we may need to discuss that and see if there is a possibility of putting a licensing requirement on it to be able to sell it.
So Gary, when you say go lower, it's 10%, is that too far? I mean, what percent is it?
I disagree with it all. I brought it up at the last meeting. If you sell vape, you're a vape store. I don't care if you don't sell but one a year. You're a vape store. It should be 0%, Gary. To me,
You can't sell any beer without a license.
that's right. You
Yeah,
can't
it's
sell
any
one
store.
beer. You can't sell one beer.
The way I look at it, I'd rather get in trouble for putting too much on a vape shop to save one child's life than to not.
Well, you look at it
I'd
now
rather
and
suffer the consequences. That's
and
just
the
the way I
stuff
am.
stuff they sell in those vape shops, they recommend you to take 2. And that's what they recommend you to take. But you buy a bag of them, you can take as many as you want. So that's just like selling alcoholic or anything that'll put you under the influence. But it
I mean,
seems like we'll be able to.
we're here to support our law enforcement. They're sitting on the back row. So they're trying to do their job, domestic disputes and all that. Plus they're trying to fight these vape shops that's legally selling drugs. And then I get a call from a parent, well, the sheriff's department's not doing nothing. Well, the sheriff's department is, but it's like going to Walmart and they're buying legal drugs. They can go bust all the illegal dope houses they want. But when they can go buy it legal, what can they do? There's nothing they can do.
And all the vape money's going back to
Yeah.
other countries. It's not staying here, it's going back.
90% of the people that own them do, it's not from the United
Right.
States.
And when we did sell tobacco, a lot of it was grown right here. So I feel like we need to put every tooth
I
in it
agree.
we can.
I agree
possibly.
with it. I've been in trouble on this board for a whole lot less. We've got in trouble for, at least we standing up to save somebody's life.
That was just being you mentioned it, give a good time to discuss it.
Thank you.
I got a lady in the audience that would like to ask.
You said that Louis County has the highest rate of lung cancer. Are you sure? Because there's a whole bunch of cancer going on. For me, for example, that's stage 4 colon cancer. I have to go to the December cancer pay to get Medicare. And there's quite a few people that go kind of go to December to get Medicare help with this type of cancer. So, are you sure that it's focused on lung cancer, not cancer, period?
You know, you have to understand the data that I'm looking at is probably 3 or 4 years old. And that's what it says here. And that's the most up-to-date data that we have.
I was just wondering, because it's like you folks on lung cancer, like they, and on top of lung cancer, they on all kinds of cancer.
I would agree.
You said,
Any more questions, Ms. Smith?
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Smith. Okay, number 14 on the agenda, the airport, approval of grant agreement between North Carolina Department of Transportation and Columbus County. Airport Director, Mr. Phil Edwards, is requesting approval of grant between North Carolina Department of Transportation and Columbus County to be used in the automated weather operating system, critical clearing areas and grubbing and building access road. Mr. Edwards.
Yes, that is, you have to have like 1,000 feet around the AWAS, which is the weather station. And this is to clear that and build an access road to the AWAS because it's going to be on the far side of the airport.
Mr. Phil, as I had mentioned it to you earlier, I'm sure you're gonna have to have a lot of dirt hauled in.
Yeah, we're going to use, I think mostly stone. Yeah.
mostly stone. You're not gonna have to use any field dirt or.
No, we're just gonna.
My,
do it.
my point is, with as much expansion as we're doing at the airport and as much improvement as we are making, I feel like that we should utilize a dirt pit that's within 3 to 5 miles from the airport rather than haul dirt from the other side of the county. We've been hauling a lot of material right up on the Robinson County line. And, right there in Sellerstown, Jerry Sellers has a dirt pit that has been state approved and permitted and all. So I just think when we seeking bids, I know you might say, well, it's grant money, but at least stretch it as far as we can by utilizing the cost savings. And one would be to get the dirt within 5 miles rather than 20 miles. So I just think that's something we need to ask someone to do with these projects. And I'll put a form of a motion to approve it.
Mr. Byrd approved it. Have a second. Mr. Floyd, second. All in favor? All against? Motion passed. Thank you. Item 15, Sheriff's Office approval of the quote for Tahoe vehicle upfit and the amendment to the LESO capital project ordinance. Mr. Creech, would you like?
Good afternoon.
Afternoon.
I'm just asking to be able to use LESO funds to be able to purchase a 2024 Tahoe for the sheriff and to upfit it.
Tell us what the LESO funds are.
LESO is the fund, the equipment, a lot of the equipment that we sold back during our auction was LESO equipment. Stuff that we got through the surplus.
Are you getting this vehicle through state contract or what? Because I saw the
It is on
price.
state contract, yes, sir.
Okay.
And I got county manager, Mr. Madden, and also the attorney, the paperwork from LESO today to show that we can spend those funds to do that.
I have a motion.
Make a motion
Second.
to approve.
Mr. Commissioner Watts made a motion, seconded by Mr. Smith. All in favor? All opposed?
Thank you.
Motion passed. Number 16, opioid settlement. Approval of the ACT LLC Management Project Service, South Brunswick Counseling Center, Adult Drug Coordination, and the Northwood Consulting Partner Contract. Ms. Cynthia Whitford is requesting approval of the following contracts for opioid settlement. There will be one motion to approve all of them.
Is she here to represent it?
I'm happy to speak to it.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
Mrs.
Okay.
Wyford, she is our consultant. Ms. Kim Smith can help me with this. Heretofore, Ms. Wyford's company, ACT LLC, has been, her services have been covered by the KB Reynolds grant. That grant has since expired or will be expiring soon. And this would put in place the contract for Ms. Wyford's company to continue providing those direct services on behalf of the county for 12 calendar months. There will be a point in the future where we will advertise for a county employee to assume some of these responsibilities. But in the meantime, we need Ms. Wyford and her company to continue providing us with that assistance. Her contract would be paid for out of the opioid settlement fund. Item B, South Brunswick Counseling Center Adult Drug Court Coordination. This is a new program that the board approved recently to start a drug court in Columbus County. And in order to have a program such as that, you need a court coordinator to do assessments for those that would come through the system and be evaluated and tracked throughout the process. This too is also paid for out of the opioid settlement fund. And finally, you have Department of Social Services Child Welfare software that can be paid for out of the opioid settlement fund as well. I'm happy to answer any questions beyond that.
I got any questions? Okay, do I hear a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
Scott Floyd made a motion to approve. Your second.
Second.
Commissioner Chris Smith, second. All approve? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, number 17, Planning Department. Approval of amendment to modify space size and manufactured mobile home park ordinance to a unified size of 10,000 square foot. Mr. Lanier.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is just to standardize on a 10,000 square foot mobile home park, manufactured home park lot for future parks. Does not affect existing parks. However, for future parks, all the lots be a standard size of 10,000 square feet, which is a little less than a quarter of an acre.
Okay, do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Mr. Floyd made the motion. Chris Smith, second. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Okay, number 18, Planning Department, approval of the amendment to remove multifamily housing from the list of regulation use requiring a special use permit.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman, as you recall, the Board of Commissioners in the past has wanted to have the final approval authority for any multi-family housing developments that come into the county. Right now, it's on the list for multi-family units to get a special use permit. Special use permit goes Planning Board for recommendation, Board of Adjustments for approval. By removing this from the list of special use permit required activities or actions, it will go instead from the Planning Board for recommendation, and then any multifamily housing will come to the Board of Commissioners for approval rather than the Board of Adjustments.
So we'll do away with Board of Adjustments and go to a Commissioner Board, correct?
Yes, sir.
There a motion to approve?
So moved.
Commissioner Floyd made a motion. We'll hear a second.
Thanks.
Commissioner Watt, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. 19, Planning Department, approval to amend land use definitions listed regarding multiple family housing.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners, this again is just cleaning up some language. In our current land use regulation ordinance definition, it just has dwelling two family, doesn't have dwelling multifamily. But when this Board of Commissioners some time ago said a duplex, triplex, quadruplex, it's all multifamily, this definition was not corrected. So this just corrects anything two families or more is considered multifamily housing. And again, it would go Planning Board for recommendation, and then it would come to the Board of Commissioners for final approval.
And it makes no difference how many stories, first floor, second floor, third floor, right on.
How many families? Is anything two or more is multifamily.
Move to be approved.
Motion by Commissioner Byrd. There's a second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Okay. Number 20, approval to amend campground definitions and requirements. Mr. Lanier.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Again, we're just cleaning up some things. The state with the building inspections department says a campground is two or more campers. Our current ordinance says 15 or more campers. There's a lot of people out there flying under the radar and are not being regulated that are actually renting campsites, campers. By going from our current 15 as constituting a campground to two or more, it now gives us the ability to regulate and also to collect occupancy taxes. And to clarify, because it was not in our ordinance, we put in the clause about anything less than 90 days. Campground operators are supposed to be collecting and turning in occupancy taxes, and that was passed with a special bill in the Senate back in 1995. And we just added that into the ordinance for clarification purposes.
Any question? I hear a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Mr. Floyd has made a motion to approve. Ms. Featherston, second. All in favor?
Well,
All opposed? Motion passes. 21, Planning Department. According to the second reading and approval of vape, tobacco, and hemp retail shop requirements ordinance.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Again, we chased this one to get it right, and it sounds like there may be still but some issues to be investigated. My question to the county attorney is if we change it today, do we have to have yet another reading? And I'm seeing a nod from the clerk. My recommendation would be approve it as presented tonight. Let me do some investigations and come back with an amendment if we can go lower than the 15%.
Can I say something?
Let's go lower.
These two fellas right here, I can never remember, what's their name?
Hayden and
Hayden
Braxton.
Braxton.
Yeah, I can never remember their names. I had my two kids up there tonight, and every one of you, I know Ricky's got grandkids, that's Buddy's grandkids, we all do. Them two fellas right there, you can go by in Hallsburg, they sell them watermelons all summer long. They were in Tabor City one day. We've got to sit here and stand up for them too, and the rest of the kids. And two fine kids right there, they work hard, I know what it was like on the farm, and they've worked hard. And I feel like their hands, or their lives is in our hands with this vape shop. Ricky's grandchildren, LaVerne's, every one of us. And I don't think 15% is enough.
I had rather offer a motion to go 1%, and then if we have to change it, then it's tend to support this tonight and then go down.
And I will second it with the requirement that they have to get a special license, just like you would if you're gonna sell beer, liquor, or
And that
whatever.
was in form of a motion.
And I'll second it.
I feel like this whole board is all in favor of doing
We'd
that.
like to put it 0 and not allow it in the county, period, because all we're doing is allowing legal drugs to be sold to our children. That's all it is.
That's what I'm trying to say. You take them two boys right there, as good as they are, and I know they're good kids. I know both granddaddies and mom and all. And they got out to work, but they go to that vape shop one time, and it could ruin them for the rest of their life.
And what brought this up, I'm the one brought it up several months ago, and a family member, not my family, but someone I know's family, called me and spoke to me about it and said how their child had got addicted on the vape. And I assured them the next meeting I would bring it up, and it's been a topic at every meeting since then. Because we're letting foreigners, we always say the fentanyl and all the drugs come from other countries. Well, we're sitting here and just letting them feed it in with the vape. It's the same thing. I have had a person that's on drugs to tell me they just soon go to the vape shop and get something, said it's better than that on the street. And that's what, they say they're not scared. You know what? They get there, they pretty well think it's going to kill them. They're getting some of this other stuff. But I think if we sit here and allow any easy access to it, period, we're defeating the purpose that we elected to do. And he made a motion to allow 1%, and I wanted to add on a special license.
How many vape shops do we have in Columbus County?
You don't even know.
No idea, because in
Do
everything
y'all
in the
know?
municipality.
Grocery stores.
They just put one in the county.
And here's the way I
The
look.
reason I asked that question, how often do y'all go and inspect the vape shops, see if they got illegal drugs they're selling?
The problem we have with the vape shop is the stuff that they sell goes in.
And that's why I'm asking,
That's where the drug is.
and that's why I'm asking, the sheriff department has the authority to go and do a search once in a while, don't they? Or am I
No,
wrong?
the ATF.
Normally the ALE.
ALE? Do y'all ever call them to come do them or anything?
Normally they contact us whenever they're doing, checks on the vape shops, they let us know. Normally the ALE is.
Have they had any lately?
They have had one about a month ago, but they were targeting underage sales in the vape shop. That is one of their big things with the state is the underage sales. That's what they target more so than they do what they're selling.
Or any way y'all could request them to come in and check them?
But if we put a licensing requirement, we're gonna know how many they are, because then you can go in, if they don't have that license hanging on the wall, you got a case right there.
Put amendment to the motion, require license.
That's what I said, well, I second it with that.
Can the sheriff's department go in there and get certain drugs and test them to see if they're illegal drugs?
We have to have a certain one.
Gotta have search.
No,
I mean, we could go buy stuff and we could send it, but I don't know that FBI would test it. We can't even get them to test marijuana anymore because of the THC level. They'll test marijuana, but they'll only tell you if it is marijuana. They won't tell you what the THC level is.
Mr. Chairman, may I add one item to you? The legislature took away the authority to impose franchise tax on business many years ago, several years ago. So the motion with the amendment to impose a fee, if you would consider adding some language that says, if permitted by state statute.
all right, but I
If
wasn't
it's
saying a
allowed-
fee, I was saying require a license. A license, and then the fee just comes with the license. But if you require a license, let's just say you go buy a hunting license, that's what you're buying, even though you're paying for it. So what I'm saying, not use the terminology of a fee. You must have a license
So we can't determine.
issued by the county. Yeah,
Imagine if you go to Ricky's place of business, he's probably got to have a license to sell meat.
he
I
has.
know he's got to have a license to have that restaurant, correct?
Yeah,
You probably got 3 or 4 licenses, right?
yeah.
And here's another thing. He's made a living. I'm gonna use him. He's made a living in Sarah Gorda without never selling a vape. So I don't feel sorry for him if they can't sell a vape. They can't make a living without doing it. They need to close the door.
Could you require a special use permit to run a vape shop? then?
Or license.
Let's do
That could be done, yes, sir.
Let's do that. Then that way to give us a count.
Ultimately, this is a zoning issue, right, Gary? There is a law enforcement component to it, but what you're adopting here this evening is the zoning restrictions. So yes, requiring a special use permit process is something that could be added to this language.
We want to do anything we can, Gary, to make it as hard to be able to sell. You can't say they can't. I understand that's freedom, but you can make it hard,
And I'm on board with all of
And
what
most
you want to
people
do. I'm just want to know from a legal standpoint, if we don't approve this as presented tonight, we got to have 2 readings of a revised vape, which we can come back.
But that's not what I understood that you told us at the last meeting, because you said we could set it and we could lower it at the next one, if I remember
Well,
correctly.
I said we could lower it and then approve it at the next one.
But let's look at it this way. If we were gonna go to India, what kind of problems would we have to go over there and start selling our stuff on their streets? And we're just letting them just come over and take over. And all the money's going out of the United States back to India, and it's destroying our youth. This is where I have a problem with it.
I reckon the question is right now, you're saying, do we have to have another meeting?
I don't think so.
You think we can just lower it to 1% tonight and approve it?
Yes.
Offer a motion, lower to 1% plus requirements of a special use permit.
And I'll second. Already second.
Got a motion by Commissioner Bullard.
And was it
Seconded
also
by
to impose
Commissioner
a license or fee if
A license
permitted by
requirement.
state statute?
And
Well,
I wouldn't use the
special-
word fee. I just use a license requirement and have a price tag on that license.
Well, the thing is then you get into that franchise tax thing, but
don't
a
care.
special use permit is required $500 for the application.
But we need to get revenue from it.
If you want an annual fee, then we would have to have some sort of a license.
Well, I would say let's get something that we can levy and help the county with income coming into the county government, some kind of fee that would help restrict that and still accomplish what we're trying to do.
Would you let us bring that to you as a recommendation at your next meeting, maybe a fee schedule or a
But we're adopting
license?
it now, and then we'll come back with how much we'll, okay.
Need
no
to set the
problem.
rate at some point.
So let me ask you this, is there any way we could put a big fee like there's, just like Ricky's made the motion? Do we add a higher fee than normal and have to take a percentage of that to maybe teach the dangers of vaping in schools?
DARE program?
Maybe the DARE program and all, because, I mean, my wife's a school nurse, so I have to hear it all the time. She talks, I said, what are you talking about? Because of all the stuff they got.
Well, even if we
I mean,
use the funds to hire an officer,
That's what I'm
just to
saying.
investigate, period.
If we give the sheriff's department that extra person that worked in the schools just to figure out where in the vape shops, you know, what vape shop it's come
Well, it could
from.
be
I mean,
used
can we
for
do
that.
that?
Might be able to earmark the money as.
If we throw a big fee on it. I mean, I don't know legally. I'm
I'd
just
like to,
asking.
I'd like to investigate that. I know
Yeah.
your attorney would.
Yeah,
Because we
I mean,
don't-
let's investigate it and take that money and put back into stopping vapes.
The important thing you're doing here tonight is adopting the ordinance that sets in motion, right, the amortization schedule.
That's true.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So Gary's department will have to send notice of some type, either through some broad advertisement or through an individual letter or notice, making them aware of the new regulations and the time period in which they must come into compliance. And so by adopting this ordinance tonight, it sets that in motion.
Okay.
That's an important thing.
Is it also limiting as of tonight that we can't, after this goes out, a whole lot of folks coming in tomorrow? I mean, right now you issue no more permits if they were to come, what I'm saying.
Would you say
would
that
have to
you
comply with the
put special use
regulations.
Permit, that's a process.
Okay,
They just open one in the county.
okay. Yeah, one at a time also.
So you're dealing with the existing businesses and any new businesses that come in with those restrictions.
Now, the other night, we discussed the clause where if it was sold or changed hands or anything, can that not be included?
You cannot regulate the sale of property through a zoning ordinance. I asked that question of the council.
What can we do if it's, in other words, something that would take it out of that grandfathered clause?
You cannot use a zoning ordinance to regulate.
I understand, but I'm asking, what can we do? Anything?
Not that, what I was told is you cannot go there.
But it would pass with title, so that restriction would carry forward
Yes.
with the new owner.
Yeah, if you started a 4-year clock and somebody sold after 2 years, they now have 2 years left on the clock. They don't reset and have 4 years to move.
That's right.
When that notice was, when this was adopted, they have 4 years to get away from the schools, the parks, et cetera. Doesn't matter if it's sold 5 times in that 4-year period. When the 4-year clock is up, they got to be gone.
Okay, we're not gonna allow any others to come into, with the school being built. Naturally, there's gonna be an influx of individuals trying to come. They're already there, but I mean, more elaborate.
You just put it on special use permit so we can.
Okay, you got it.
So in 4
Have a
years,
motion?
they got to be moved.
We've had a motion,
And
had a second. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it.
I still say it should be 0%.
Madam Attorney.
You can require a roll call.
Commissioner Smith was the only one that voted no.
All right,
Good.
good. Thank you, Gary. Okay, number 22, emergency services, approval of low bid retaining construction of a new metal building at the North Campus. David.
It is. This is a follow-up to the meeting from last month. I think Commissioner Byrd asked us to go back and look at some of the pouring of the concrete pad and ramps. So went back and talked with the same vendors, got some new prices. Sutton Concrete still came in the lowest. So I don't know, were you given a copy of the numbers?
Yeah, I think
for this?
Thing with him.
everybody's got the numbers on it.
So, I think that was the question from the last meeting. This is, back in October, I believe it was, this was a building that was approved that was burned down during one of the storms that was destroyed, and we did receive a check for that. So, the building was approved back in October, I believe it was, and this is for the rest of it, for the concrete, the electrical, and the bay doors.
Okay. Madam Attorney, everything good there?
Yes, sir.
Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
All in favor? I'm sorry.
Second.
Second by Ms. Featherston. Chris Smith made the motion. All in favor? All opposed?
Thank you.
Motion passed. Thank you, David. Finance, approval of budget amendments. Ms. Heather Willie is requesting approval of the following budget amendments. Require one motion to approve all A through E. Ms. Woody.
Okay, good evening. How are y'all doing? The first budget amendment we have is from the Transportation Department. It's to pay back the state for sales over $5,000, and it's covering time period from November 21st until now.
Now, where is that at? The first we got is excess fund. I thought from surplus vehicles. You confused me there when you started.
Sorry, page 116. So, transportation, state buys their vehicles and then they dispose of them, and anything over $5,000, we have to pay back to the state. They're getting ready to change that to 10 though, as the notation that Joy made at the bottom. Sheriff's Office, DARE expense, they received a check for DARE funds from Brunswick County ABC Board. We're just budgeting it so they can use those funds as needed.
So the town of Brunswick?
County
Yes, ma'am.
ABC Board. The third one is also for Sheriff's Office. It's for maintenance and repair of vehicles. It's for budgeting insurance proceeds to pay for damaged vehicles for the repair of them. Your portion is from the attorney's office. It's budgeting contracted services to keep up with the workload for being short-staffed for a couple of months due to illness.
Is that our attorney's office or? Okay.
And then the last one is an updated budget ordinance for 911 Center SCIF grants, and it's reallocating grant funds and budgeting interest to make some additional renovations to improve the functionality of the EOC and to transfer funds as needed for the 911 Center upfit too.
Is that it?
That's all.
I move to be approved as presented.
Mr. Byrd made the motion to approve. Second by Mr. Chris Smith. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Second, number 24, finance, resolution and agreement for all deposits and investment accounts. Ms. Williams is requesting approval of resolutions and agreements for all deposits and investment accounts. Ms. Williams.
This is just to change signing authority with all the different bank accounts that we have. So I'll contact the banks in the morning and we'll go ahead and start getting that working process.
Move to be approved.
Motion by Mr. Byrd, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Floyd. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Number 25, appointments, reappointments, replacements. Staff is requesting appointments, reappointments, and replacements of the following board, committees, and councils.
Mr. Chairman, the first one is my appointee, and I understand that she's got to rotate off because of the term limit. I'm not sure of that. So at this time, I would reappoint her, but if she has to rotate off, then I can't, so I'm just going to hold that open till January sometime.
Okay. Next one, Sarah Board of Planning and Zoning. Mr. Raymond Gower.
I would love to reinstate it.
Reinstating.
And I move that as a motion.
I'll second.
I'll say,
Motion by Mr. Bullard, seconded by Commissioner Watts. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Chapman Board of Adjustments, entire board, Jeremy Kennedy.
Does anyone know what he willing to serve or
They're
not?
happy with Mr. Kennedy also. That's good, Miss Barbara. She and I share that.
I would have to ask that you table it this time because I haven't talked with anyone. about
Okay.
it.
Table.
We'll table that one at this time. Let's go to this next one. Columbus Regional Hospital Board of Directors, entire board. Right now, Commissioner Chris Smith is on.
You willing to serve, Chris? I'll nominate him.
Motion by Mr. Byrd, second. Second by Mr. Floyd. All in favor? All opposed? Columbus Regional Hospital Board of Directors, entire board, currently Mr. Brent Watts.
You willing to serve, Brent?
Yeah, I'd like to serve again.
I nominate him.
Second nominated by Mr. Byrd, second by Mr. Floyd. All in favor? Okay, Mr. Watt passed. Economical Development Commission, Board of Directors, entire board. Mr. Byrd is currently on board.
You want to serve again?
Yes, sir.
I'll nominate.
Brett Watts nominated Mr. Byrd. Second by Mr. Floyd. All in favor? It passed. Fair Bluff Board of Adjustments, entire board, Mr. Frank Horn.
Really don't.
This afternoon, they called me and that they would like to put Kenny Turnbull in Frank Horn's place. He is not doing good, and they asked to appoint Kenny Turnbull.
You putting that in the form of a motion? I'll second.
Motion by Mr. Bullard, second by Mr. Byrd. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, motion passed. Ricky, you reckon you could get them a address and telephone number for them? Help them out.
I got to.
Thank you. Fair Bluff Planning and Zoning Board, entire board, it's currently vacant.
They also asked to put Brian Ezel in the Fair Bluff Plan and Zone Board, and I put that in form of a motion.
All right, what you gotta,
I don't have anyone, but if he's going to.
That's what Billy
nominate-
Hammond's.
You talk with him?
Dillingham?
I'll make a motion or second.
Okay. Commissioner Bullard made a motion, second by Mr. Watts. All in favor? All opposed? Motion passed. Aging Council, Advisory Council, District Board, Janet Hendricks. She resigned. I'd like to table that till the next meeting. Second one, the Aging Council, Advisory Council.
That's place.
Commissioner Watts made a
I have
motion.
his info.
It's his appointment.
Oh, his appointment. Sorry about that. Okay, thank you.
I think Wilbur's deceased, didn't he?
I don't know.
I think he is.
Okay.
No, Mr. Wilbur, he's bad off, but I don't think he's passed away.
Okay, well, last one, Aging Advisory Council,
That's my appointment. I'd love to appoint Worley Edwards.
Worley Ed. Okay. Anybody got anything else? Okay. Need a motion to recess regular session and enter into Columbus County Water and Sewer District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 board meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Commissioner Smith made a motion. Second.
Second.
By Mr. Floyd. All in favor? All opposed? Now, 26, Water and Sewer District 4, EDA project approval of the bid awarded to a water line extension.
Mr. Chairman, we'd request that you table this item to the
Table
next
it.
meeting. Yes, sir.
Okay, got a motion to,
So they move.
Do we need a motion to table it or can we
I would
just
think
table it?
so.
I think so.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
go
would
ahead.
for-
Okay.
got a motion by Mr. Watts, second.
Second.
Second by Mr. Smith. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, so it passes to be taken. I need a motion to adjourn combination meeting Columbus County Water and Sewer District 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Have a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion by Ms. Hendrick, I apologize, Ms. Featherston. Ms. Barbara Featherston, seconded by Chris Smith. All in favor?
Right.
Okay, come last, commissioner comments. We'll start with Ms. Featherston. That'll be good.
Actually don't have any. Just want to wish everyone a very safe and prosperous holiday season. Be careful. Kids are out of school as well during this time, so better pay attention to them and the school buses that are on.
Mr. Floyd?
Yeah, just hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. And over the past year or time I've been on the board, talk about how good this board has been. We still got a good board. Some got different roles, but we still a good board. Respect each other's decision, and let's continue to do what we do and make this county better.
Mr. Smith?
I'm gonna say one thing as far as Christmas shopping, trying to shop locally. Cause we get 2% of the 6.75 sales tax, 2% goes to the county.
Mr. Watkins?
First, I want to commend the staff for the swearing in tonight. And anybody that took involved, I thought it was very nice. Give the public a chance to see the new courthouse. And I want to thank my friends and family for coming. And I want to say Merry Christmas. Like everyone else said, we might not be back by then. And the employee luncheon coming up. I think we all should show up, support our employees for them. And that's it.
Commissioner Bull?
Like I say, hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. Don't need too much, like I did at Thanksgiving. But that's what it's for, and enjoy your family and be thankful for what we got. Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Commissioner Word?
Yes, I'd like to concur with what everyone, other commissioner has spoken tonight. And we come into an era to end 1 year of county, with 1 calendar year. And like Mr. Scott said, we've had a good board all year. I look forward to having a good board for the next year. And I just asked the chairman to keep everybody informed, just make sure that all other 6 know what's going on and keep us all informed. And I think we'll still have a good year next year. And Mr. Madden and Miss Woody, I've been involved in someone that got a refund, and they cannot understand why it takes 3.5 months to get a refund. And then if we owe them, we're not paying them any interest. But if they 3.5 months behind with us, they have to pay interest. But the question is, are there any way that we can speed up that process with people who are getting refunds where they have paid excess funds? I mean, they're looking for that check the next month.
With Mr. Baker, for the tax office software, his recommendation. So right now, the problem is we're having to manually verify that those refunds are being coded correctly because the software doesn't code them. So it's slowing down the whole process. So everybody wants to code them with one account number, but that's not the correct account number in all instances. So we're having to go through full reports and check each and every individual person and code them correctly. It's very time consuming.
Okay.
Along with all the other bills that we have coming in.
But when they go to Needham and Needham confirms that it was overpaid or whatever,
Yes.
and then it's sent, it has to be verified over and over?
Those tax offices coding it one account number.
Okay.
They're coding it as a release and not everything is a release.
But the new software should streamline that process.
Yes, hopefully. So we're waiting on their suggestions, so we know how to proceed and make things better, faster, and more convenient.
Yes, definitely, because people, especially with the holidays, and they got the county owes them $300 or $400, they certainly would like to get it. And, this particular case, we've been working on it since probably August, or
Her check has been mailed to her.
it has? Okay, thank goodness. I won't get my ears flocked the next time. One other thing, a couple of things, Mr. Madden, we mentioned the second camera, because I've had individuals to tell me that does watch the meetings, like say when Miss Kim Smith was up speaking, the camera's totally focused on her and not anyone else. and they feel like the whole board, should be shown because they're asking questions or whatever, and it's hard to hear and know who's asking what.
We can
So-
get some prices on that for you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I think we just need to move forward with it.
But you're correct. Once, this is a voice activated camera, so once-
Right.
it'll rotate in just a minute to the person who's speaking, and it's also manually operated. But we do just have one camera in the room. So
Right. Well,
if
we
you-
need more. We need at least two. We need this board to be covered, the way I feel, and then wherever they're talking, let that one rotate to turn to that. And, wish everybody a happy holiday season and look forward to 2025. And, Mr. Watts, I won't be able to be at the employee luncheon because I'm most likely will be out of town. And I'll end with that.
That's from me.
I'd like to say one more thing, Mr. Chair. Ms. Woody, I've had some calls about poll workers have not been paid since November the 5th.
We took care of that today.
Oh, you did?
Would you like me to speak to that?
I felt bad about it.
Okay.
So today I received a batch of personnel action forms authorizing the employment of poll workers that started before the election. So unless that paperwork is submitted on time, we don't know about it. So it needs to be submitted on time so we can get them into the system and get them paid in a timely manner.
Who submits those?
The Elections Department.
Board of Elections.
They're paid the last payroll.
Okay.
As long as I've been here, they work, and it's after the election, they process.
It's not to
So
be done
will they
after-
be paid before the end of the year?
Yeah. I think they said
It's
tonight.
getting those forms after the fact is not the correct process, though. Yes, sir.
I think.
That's it. I'm sorry.
Mr. Madden?
Can I bring up one more thing? When we're talking about paying, I called the COLAs, took effect. What'd you tell me, Ms. Gill?
November 21st.
I had some calls about that. So the December pay, all county employees will see the COLA.
That's correct.
Okay.
The pay period starts over on the 21st. That's why that date's chosen.
That's what they told me, but I just wanted the public
That's
to
right.
know that because people were asking.
It'll be in there, and they receive their check in December early, right? Friday before Christmas instead of at the end of the month. So it will be very soon.
Anything else from the board?
All right, a couple of things. First of all, congratulations to the newly elected or re-elected board members. The ceremony this afternoon was nice. And we are pleased to work with you again for another 4 years. You have a number of Christmas parades. I know there's reminders are in your packet, but I'll highlight just a few of them. This Thursday, Tabor City at 6 o'clock. Saturday, the 7th at Lake Waccamaw at 10 a.m. and later that day in Whiteville at 6 p.m. And then Sunday, the 8th in Chadburn at 3, Bolton at 6:30. And then finally, December 14th, Fair Bluff, 6 p.m. We have candy available for you, so if you plan to ride in any of those parades, please let us know. We'll make sure you have that available. As I understand it, the town of Brunswick is not having a parade this year. That's why it's not mentioned elsewhere. As Commissioner Watts mentioned, the Employee Appreciation Luncheon is this Thursday at the fairgrounds. The first session's at 11, then we have another group coming in at 12, and then finally at 1 o'clock for all of our employees to have an opportunity to have lunch with us. As this board knows, you will not have a scheduled meeting December 16th unless something comes up between now and then that we need to call you together, but we hope not to have to do that. And then lastly, the offices will be closed December 24th through the 26th for Christmas. That concludes my report, Mr. Chairman.
I'd like to thank everybody for all the work they've done on the election. I'm looking forward to working this year with everybody. I will do my very best to keep everybody informed. My biggest thank you is to Commissioner Ricky Bullock for holding the position for 4 years. That's outstanding. He's done a great job. He led us through some hard times, as we all know. And I just personally want to thank you so much for it.
You're welcome. And I always like to see other ones succeed, so good luck.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
And may I say one other thing? Benny mentioned that in the past, the chairmanship and vice chairmanship has always been rotated. You know, when Ricky held it 4 years, that was, in all my years of being on the board, that was the only time I've ever known it. Every year it would rotate to someone else. And it was set so that every commissioner had an opportunity during the terms to serve. So that's something maybe we need to start looking back at again, is rotate it, because that's the way up till 4 years ago it had always been done.
Well, again, I think Mr. Buller was, at the time, was the man that was chosen and for his expertise and skills, and I appreciate it. I really do appreciate all you done. Again, I'd like to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I'm always available if any way I can help you. Again, the county employees, I can't express my feelings enough for you for what you do for the county. Thank you so much. And with that, I'll say, my good friend would say, if all hearts and minds are cleared, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Have a motion by Mr. Smith. Second. Ms. Featherston. Okay, motion adjourned. Thank you.
You just